Hey, what's going on, guys? I figured I'd try something new for the channel, so here we are, Minecraft bitches. I wanted to do a series where I just build stuff in creative, just a classic series. Because I used to play this game a lot, so I'd say I'm fairly experienced with building shit, so yeah, and that's what we're going to be doing today. And we're going to be starting off by building a simple wooden house, so let's get straight into it. So the first step you're going to want to do is we're going to start off by placing these little foundation pillars of the house. Now I'm going to be using oak logs for this, and you're going to leave a 3 gap in between each one and just follow the shape I do, making a 3x2 rectangle right here. This is going to be the porch area, and I'm going to bring the house out this way, so this will be where the house is here, and that'll be where you walk up to the house. So I'm going to bring this out. Let's say I'm going to do it one further out than this one. So it's going to look something like this, and then we'll just wrap it up. Now we're going to add just 2 more here in the middle, and your shape should look something like this. Okay, the next step we want to do is we want to raise each pillar up to 5 blocks, so increasing them by 4 blocks each, except for these 2 front ones and this one here, and I'll get to that in 1 minute. But for now, let's just raise all of these up to 5 blocks. When you finish with that step, your house should look something like this right now. So as I said, I plan for this to be the porch area. That's why I'm not raising it all the way up to 5, because this is where the stairs are going to be laid. So if you want to come over here, we can just lay the stairs to up to 4 blocks. So it's 1 less than the pillar height. So the stairs will come up to here. Now, whenever I do stairs, I place upside down stairs on the underneath side, because I feel like it makes it look a lot more stable. Plus, it's easier to build if you have a platform underneath it. Once you've completed the stairs, I'm going to take oak planks, and I'm just going to, while I'm at it, fill in this entire area with plank, since this is all going to be the flooring of the house. This part is just going to be the porch, and then this is where the actual house is, okay? And just like that, we are done. So the top area is filled in with plank now. Now the reason why this one is not up to 5 was because this is just going to be a supporting beam like that. So you just want to connect it to the ceiling just like that. Your house should look something like this right now. There's a little, foundation girder for what is going to be a beautiful little house. Okay, so next step, we're going to take our cobblestone here. I'm just going to lay 3 blocks in between most of the pillars, not any of these ones. This was going to be a little fenced off area, which I'm going to have a little wheat farm underneath, I imagine. So just all of these ones around this front bit here like that. Now take your stripped oak log and place them just sideways like this. We'll probably add a window around these areas in a little bit, but for now we can leave it like this. That's just fine. Now you want to raise it up to the floor height, because this is where the fencing is going to be, so we want a little foundation for that, you see? Just like that. Not these ones here, by the stairs. Just by the stairs we're going to add just some fences like that. And there we are. We are now just going to place some fences along the stripped oak log areas. Just like that, connecting it to the house. And now we're going to strip oak log just the top area all along here. Once you've finished that, just along these ones here, we're going to place cobblestone. Now this is where the house is going to be. Similarly to the bottom, I'm using cobblestone as the very bottom layer of the house, just because I think it sort of matches the build. And we can just place cobblestone 3 along each side, leaving a 1 gap in the middle. So this will be a door, and it's a little balcony area viewing the sun. Just to light it up a bit, we're going to place some lanterns on each pillar here. We can even do the outside one like that too. That's fine. Next step, you're just going to raise it up by 3 so you reach 4 blocks in height for each of these pillars here. And then, similarly to the bottom area, we're just going to fill it in with stripped oak log. Now, story time. You guys don't hate me for saying this, but just the other day I watched Deadpool for the very first time in 2020. Like, I've been putting it off for so long, because I'm a big fan of Marvel movies in general, but mostly the MCU, and that one obviously isn't part of the MCU, so I've been putting it off, but it's really good, and if you haven't seen it, I'd definitely recommend it for you. It's really, really funny. We're just going to grab some dirt here and fill in this area just along here. We can do these corner ones too. We do the corner ones. And instead of a log, we'll place a trapdoor just like that, okay? We can do one here too. There we are. Next step, you're going to want to take out your hoe. Make sure it's a golden one. And I'm just going to grab some potatoes, I think. I think they'll look quite nice. And if you're doing this in creative, just take some bone meal, because otherwise, you see, these will just not stay. They won't grow because there's no water nearby. So just make sure you bone meal them up. And we're just going to be starting the roof area of this house. So I'm going to be using spruce slabs and spruce slabs only for the roof. So let's go one along the edge, you see. So it's just one down from the actual height. And this roof is going to extend one further than the house also. Now, the roof is going to go up in increments of 1 slab, just like that. So you see the height increases. However, I'm going to be adding a block underneath each one also. So it's going to look something like that, you see? And instead of having a pointed roof like that, I think, I mean, you could have that if you wanted to. I personally prefer it if it's a little rounded like that. Sort of reminds me of a barn. And I like barns. There we are. So that'll be the shape of the roof. Now if you want to just wrap it around this side, and you can do the same on this side, just until you reach the top, round it off, not like that, and bring it back around again, not like that either. There we are. Now, all you have to do is fill it in along each block that you've placed. You don't have to do the bottom bits. It's probably better if you don't on this bit, because on these side parts, like here, if you did that, you won't be able to cover this part up. So I usually leave this part open so I can place like a strip log there, and it covers it up from the outside, if you see what I mean, you know? So your roof should look something like this when finished. Now I'm just going to place, like I said, just going to fill in this little area here so it covers up that gap. Otherwise we'd have a hole in our house, which isn't, you know, isn't desirable. And in the top one you can't really break this block, so I usually just fill the solution by placing a slab just like that, and that's fine. Doesn't look too bad, that's okay. Now for the next step, I'm just going to be going back to the fences, and I'll say three in between. We're just going to raise this up, just like that. Now we're just going to have a little shade here, so let's say we can use a combination of slabs and trapdoors, so by doing that we create a little elevation difference, you see? So we can have something like that, and maybe just fill in the bottom bits here as well, just like that. There we are. And while I've got fence equipped, we're just going to come down here and fill all of these in, except that one. That one's going to be a fence gate instead. So just fill it all the way in until you come around here. Now, there isn't a whole lot of room in this house, so I imagined this part could be converted to a sort of storage area, perhaps either for your farm or just for your house. So we'll just say something like this. We can put a door here later, but it'll look something like that, and that'll be your little farm. Now the next step is going to be just adding some windows along. So just for the window design of this house, all I do is break the 2 middle blocks, place 2 glass panes, and you can just place 2 trapdoors just like that and place them up against the wall. And I think that's a nice little border for the window, and it makes it look quite nice. And we can do, since it's a storage room, we don't want too many windows because we'll probably be using the walls as a storage. So let's say just this one here as another window. And you could probably leave this one plain just like that. And then maybe we could do this one too. We can do this one. That's fine. I know I said not too many windows, but that should be okay. That's the bottom area finished. We can probably add a window here, just like so. Make the front look a little nicer and not so plain. Because this stripped oak log texture is, you know, you can get a little weird after a while if it's used too much. You can add 2 windows at the back. Just like so. And it's your choice really. You could add windows here. I think I'm just gonna add 1. I'm not so sure about adding 2. I feel like that's perhaps too many windows, and you never want to add too many windows in your house. I think that's just fine. Just like that, yeah. Now the dirt area of this does look a little bit too rural in my opinion, so to frame it nicely, I'm just gonna add some birch signs just around. You try not to write anything. I mean, you could write, you know, hidden message to your Polish lover if you really like, but I'm not going to do that today. There we are. Now, just for this bottom area here, I'm going to add a fence gate, and this is going to be a little wheat farm area, so if you're building this in survival, you'll probably need a water source. Now, best solution I have for that is that should cover all the blocks. So if you add 2 water blocks here, then you can add a trapdoor just on top like that. When you open, you see the water will stay there. So now I can hoe all of these blocks, and they should, yes, they should become soggy, very soggy, which is great. So just come along and hoe all of these blocks. Or perhaps, actually, you might want to take your golden, has to be golden, shovel, and just build a little path here. Just until you reach this door. There we are. And now you can hoe all the blocks. Now in this farm area, I'm just going to place wheat seeds. You can place whichever you like. Just for video purposes, I'm doing wheat because personally I think, you know, it's probably the best looking. So that's the wheat farm done, and look at it. Look at it waving in the wind. So now we can actually place beacons on these blocks to keep it lit, so your crops don't die. And then we just want to grab a door. I'll use standard oak door because, oh, why not? And I'm going to place this one on the inside, so if you turn around whilst you're on the block, I'll place it on the inside. On the downstairs I'll place an outside block, however we just need to fill in this floor with planks now, because we don't want a muddy storage room, do we? And there we are. And that's that build finished. So you've got your little farm, finished farming for the day. You can go up to your very empty house. And actually that reminded me, we do need some glass to fill in the windows, but other than that we are finished. There we are, and that's done. So let's look at the sun and say goodbye for now. I hope you enjoyed this build. I enjoyed building it. Let me know if you want to see more, because I'll gladly do more. I thought that was quite fun. And yeah, I hope to hear you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.